A small amount of praise is worth more than a heap of contempt. A drop of encouragement is more useful than a bucket of pessimism. A bowl of kindness is better than a cabinet full of criticism. William Arthur Ward. A compliment, however small, can brighten someone's darkest day like a ray of sunlight piercing through gloomy clouds, bringing warmth to a cold heart. In contrast, a ton of criticism or contempt, even if meant to be constructive, is often like stones thrown into the river of trust, causing the listener to sink deep into hurt. A drop of encouragement, just a simple, "You can do it," can lift the spirit of someone faltering. Meanwhile, a bucket of pessimism, even if unintentional, can extinguish the blazing flame of hope. Thus, encouragement, however small, is 1,000 times more valuable than complaints or doubts. And finally, a bowl of kindness, simple acts of compassion, is worth more than a cabinet of criticism filled with reasoning. For kindness needs no flowery words, only an action, a look, a smile, is enough to touch another's heart. But criticism, no matter how justified, if lacking humanity, only widens the gap between people. Learn to praise more than criticize, encourage more than despair, and live with kindness rather than judgment. For these small things can transform a soul, lighting up an entire life. A beautiful word is a seed sown in someone's heart, and one day it will bloom into flowers of faith, love, and happiness. Lively conversation can never replace the face of someone who gives their heartfelt sincerity to encourage others to be brave and honest. Charles Dickens. There are conversations full of energy, ringing with laughter, words flowing rapidly, but in the end, they remain only on the surface. Such liveliness may warm the atmosphere, but it's not enough to warm a heart. For what people truly crave is not noisy words, but a sincere gaze, a heart that listens, and encouragement born from a heart that genuinely cares. A face radiating heartfelt sincerity. That's when someone looks at us with trust, with unconditional love. In that moment, just a nod, a gentle smile, a simple word of encouragement is enough to help someone rediscover the courage to live true to themselves, to be honest, to reveal their true selves. Sincerity needs no display. It shines in silence, stronger than 1,000 ornate words. It's like a small candle in the dark, not dazzling, but bright enough to guide the lost. Don't just speak for amusement. Live and speak with your heart. A sincere person can inspire change in others. A compassionate glance can spark courage. And a heart that encourages, though quiet, is stronger than any noisy conversation. For sincerity is a language without words, yet felt by all. Guidance can achieve much, but encouragement can achieve everything. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Guidance is like a map showing the way. It's necessary, valuable, but it stops at pointing the way. Encouragement, however, is the wind that fills the sails, urging the ship to leave the harbor. Without encouragement, a map is just a meaningless piece of paper. But with words of encouragement, with someone believing in us, people become strong, daring to step forward, to try, to fail, and to succeed. Guidance may show us how to do it, but encouragement says, you can do it. And that's what truly inspires action. It's the spark that ignites the heart of someone hesitating, the gentle hand on the shoulder, reminding them they're not alone. For in life, people don't just need to know how. They need courage. And that courage is born from encouragement, from the faith someone places in us. Be someone who not only guides, but also inspires. For advice helps others understand, but encouragement helps them believe. And when they believe in themselves, people can achieve what once seemed impossible. The human heart is so fragile and sensitive that it always needs clear encouragement to keep it from faltering in its endeavors. Maya Angelou. The heart, the seat of emotions, faith, and aspirations, is easily wounded. A careless word, a cold glance, can make it falter and lose its rhythm. For no matter how strong, people still need a bit of warmth, a bit of trust, to avoid losing themselves in life's pressures. That's why encouragement holds such extraordinary power. It's like an electric current recharging a weakening heart, keeping it beating, keeping it dreaming. But the miracle is this: when the heart receives sincere encouragement, it becomes stronger than ever imagined. A small word of encouragement can turn fear into faith, hesitation into action, weakness into strength. When fueled by belief, the human heart beats as steadily as a war drum. Steady, resilient, unshakable. People don't just need to live. They need to be trusted, to be encouraged, to live fully. A timely word of encouragement is like catching someone just before they fall, gentle, but enough to keep them standing. Remember, a heart weakens when ignored, but becomes invincible when loved and trusted. True joy comes when you inspire, uplift, and guide someone on a path that benefits them. Jim Rohn. This joy isn't loud, not born from applause or praise, but from the quiet light within the heart when we see someone become better because of us. It's the joy of a teacher watching a student progress, of a friend seeing their companion overcome hardship, of a parent watching their child take steady steps. This joy is not just happiness, but the fulfillment of a loving soul. To inspire is to ignite in others a flame they didn't know they had. To uplift is to breathe warmth into that flame with faith. And to guide is to help that flame burn in the right direction, lighting the path ahead. When we do these three things, we not only help others find their way, but we make our own lives more meaningful. True joy doesn't lie in how much we achieve, but in helping someone else find themselves. For when we inspire, we sow faith. When we uplift, we sow courage. And when we guide, we sow wisdom. And then, all those seeds will blossom in others' hearts and in our own souls. When you uplift others, you too are uplifted, for you create a bond and a difference in their lives. Zig Ziglar. Each time you encourage someone, you're not just sending out positive energy, you're also gaining strength yourself. For encouragement is a two-way flow. It lifts others up, and it elevates your own soul. In the grateful eyes, in the revived smile of another, you'll find renewed faith in goodness, in the value of life, in the power of compassion. Encouragement is like planting a seed in someone else's life. That seed grows, blooms, and its fragrance returns to enrich your own garden. That's why every sincere word of encouragement never fades. It spreads, it returns, and it enriches both hearts. Encourage, uplift, believe in others, not just because they need it, but because you too need to touch the meaning of humanity. When you make someone stronger, you also make yourself better. For sincere encouragement always creates a difference, for the one who receives it and for the one who gives it. Those who know little often speak much, while those who know much often speak little. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Those who know little are often driven by a desire to prove themselves. They speak much, not necessarily to teach, but out of fear that others won't notice their knowledge. Like a shallow stream, the less water it has, the louder it flows. While a deep river runs quietly, silence is always a mark of depth. Those who truly understand don't need to speak much, for they know words are a double-edged sword. Spoken rightly, they help. Spoken wrongly, they harm. They choose silence to listen, observe, reflect, for in silence, wisdom is nurtured and becomes clearer. They understand that strength lies not in volume, but in the weight of each word. Those who know little use words to fill the void of their understanding, but those who know much use silence to fill the void of arrogance. That's why silence is sometimes the language of the wise. Don't mistake silence for weakness, or think speaking much is a sign of knowledge. True wisdom needs no display. It is humble, calm, and profound. For those who speak much only draw fleeting attention, while those who understand much make others want to listen. Humility is the conscience of the body, Balzac. Humility is not just a virtue, but a deep instinct of a clear soul. Just as the body has a conscience to protect itself from illness, humility is the spiritual conscience that shields us from the diseases of arrogance and delusion. Humble people are not humble because they are weak, but because they understand. They understand that knowledge is boundless, that true human worth lies not in proving they're better than others, but in knowing they can always be better. Humility makes people pure, receptive, and always ready to learn. It's like fertile soil, low-lying. It always receives water, and thus it thrives and grows. Arrogance, meanwhile, is like a high mountain peak. It touches the clouds, but remains barren, unable to hold a single drop of rain. Humility is the measure of wisdom and virtue. It helps people pause to listen, bow to learn, and smile at success without boasting. For humility doesn't make us smaller, it makes us greater in our own eyes and in the hearts of others. The deepest river flows with the least noise. Quintus Curtius Rufus. The deeper the river, the quieter its flow. Beneath its calm surface lies a powerful, steady, silent current. Likewise, those with deep inner lives, wisdom, and experience need no fanfare. They don't make noise, don't rush to prove themselves, for they know true value lies not in words, but in actions and depth of thought. In contrast, shallow waters easily ripple and make noise, just as those with little understanding often boast and judge, for their hearts still hold much emptiness. Noise draws fleeting attention, but silence creates lasting attraction. The silence of a deep river is not weakness, but the perfect control of strength. It flows calmly, but ceaselessly. It doesn't boast, yet it weaves through mountains and forests, nurturing life. Calm people are the same. They don't make a fuss, yet they quietly create profound change. Sometimes, silence is the voice of wisdom. The deeper one's understanding, the more they practice restraint, the stronger they are, the gentler they become. Learn to be like the deep river, silent but resolute, humble but full of inner strength. For true strength needs no noise, it shines in quiet radiance. Don't be complacent. Don't be flashy. There's always someone better than you. Tony Hsieh. Complacency is a foggy mirror that keeps us from seeing who we truly are. When we're too caught up in victories, we forget there are higher peaks ahead, and around us are people quietly striving harder than us every day. Flashiness is just outer paint, beautiful, but easily chipped. True value lies in persistence, in an attitude of constant learning. This saying doesn't aim to belittle us, but to keep us awake on our journey of growth. For if we believe we're the best, that's the moment we stop improving. The world is vast, and in its boundless sea of knowledge, those who think they're enough are the ones falling behind. Be humble, for humility doesn't make you smaller, it gives you room to grow. Look up to learn, look back to improve, and look within to mature. Remember, complacency kills talent, while humility nurtures wisdom. There's always someone better than you, and that's what makes life worth living, worth striving for every day. Humility comes from knowledge. Strength comes from sacrifice. Rudyard Kipling. Those with true knowledge are not arrogant, for they understand that what they know is but a drop in the vast ocean of understanding. The deeper the knowledge, the humbler the person. For knowledge opens awareness, and awareness leads to a heart that respects, that listens, that yields. Humility born of knowing you're not enough, that's the mark of the wise. And strength, it doesn't come from muscle or power, but from silent sacrifice. The strongest people are not those who never tire, but those who dare to take losses, to bear burdens, to put others' needs above their own. True strength is forged in hardship, nurtured by love and selflessness. These two ideas, seemingly separate, are intertwined. Knowledge helps us understand. Sacrifice helps us love. When someone understands deeply and loves fully, they reach the pinnacle of character, a gentle strength that can shake the world. Learn to know to understand, and understand to be humble. Live to give to grow strong, and grow strong to love. For humility is the sign of wisdom, and sacrifice is the emblem of strength. And only with both does a person become truly great. It's hard to respect others if you lack humility yourself. Henri Frederic Amiel. Those lacking humility often see the world through the lens of an inflated self. They easily compare, judge, and want to place themselves above others. In that mindset, respect cannot flourish, for they fail to see the true value in those around them. They hear but don't listen, see but don't perceive, speak much but understand little. In contrast, the humble know that everyone has something to teach. Everyone has a story worth valuing. When we lower ourselves, we open our hearts. And when our hearts are open, we begin to see the beauty in others, in how they live, in their quiet efforts, in the simple things we once overlooked. Humility teaches us how to respect, and respect makes us kinder. Like a water jug, only when lowered can it be filled. So too with people. Only through humility can we truly receive and love. To be respected by others, start by respecting yourself through an attitude of humility. For when we're small enough to see others, we become great enough to be seen by them. Humility is the root. Respect is the fruit. Without roots, no fruit can bloom. Without humility, respect is but empty words. Humility, the gentle art of enhancing your charm by pretending not to notice it. Oliver Herford. Some people don't need to speak much or boast, yet they captivate others through their naturalness, simplicity, and unassuming demeanor. Humility doesn't diminish true worth. It makes it more refined, like a pearl hidden in a plain shell, revealing its glow only to those with discerning eyes. The word art is fitting for humility, is not self-deprecation, but a high form of strength. Truly, talented people don't need to shout their greatness. They pretend not to notice their own allure, and that makes them more captivating, trustworthy, and beloved. Humility is like the gentle fragrance of a flower, not overpowering, but drawing people closer, It doesn't demand attention, yet makes every space it graces more pleasant, warm, and worthy of respect. Humility isn't denying your worth, it's holding that worth in quiet dignity. For true charm doesn't come from boasting, but from silent confidence, where others feel your energy, not hear you proclaim it. In other words, humility is the beauty of wisdom and the allure of the soul. A humble person tends to be more confident. A person with true humility knows how much they are loved. Cornelius Plantinga. People often mistake humility for weakness, for lack of confidence. But in truth, humility and confidence are two sides of a mature soul. Humble people don't need to prove their greatness, for they know who they are. They understand their true worth doesn't lie in others' eyes. That's why they walk lightly, steadily, without comparing or boasting, and that is the highest expression of confidence. Those with true humility also know they are loved, for when the heart no longer needs to compete, no longer needs to strive for recognition, it can fully feel the love, trust, and kindness from those around them. They don't need admiration to feel valued. They know that value already lies within them and in the love others give them. Humility is peace in the soul. It gives us the strength to stand firm and the gentleness to touch others' hearts. Truly, humble people don't diminish themselves. They simply don't need to elevate themselves. And because of that, they are more confident, happier, and more loved. For humility doesn't dim your light. It only makes that light warmer and more precious. A clear mind, an honest heart, and a humble soul. These are the three best guides through time and eternity. Walter Scott. A clear mind is the light of reason. It helps us see clearly amid endless chaos, to distinguish right from wrong, to stay calm when life's storms rage. A sharp intellect is a compass, keeping us from being swept away by the crowd or fleeting temptations. An honest heart is the flame of morality. It makes us live true, love true, and act with purity. Honest people aren't perfect, but they are clear, free of scheming. Their hearts are light. This honesty makes life's journey sincere, without pretense, without masks, and a humble soul is the breeze of serenity. It helps us step back, to understand others, to bow, to learn, and to thank life, even in adversity. Humility makes people profound, gentle, and closer to their purest selves. These three intellect, honesty, and humility are the three lanterns guiding us through time and eternity. They not only keep us on the right path in this life, but lead our souls to lasting peace. Keep a clear mind to avoid straying, an honest heart to avoid deceit, and a humble soul to avoid arrogance. For only with all three are we truly free, free in this fleeting life, and free in the eternal realm of the soul. Humility is the triumph of the mind over flattery. Frank Tyger. Flattery is a sweet poison, so sweet it can intoxicate, make us lose ourselves. It inflates the self, lulls reason to sleep, making us think we're at the peak. But humility, it's the sturdy shield that keeps the mind from being swayed, helping us see what's real and what's false, what's genuine appreciation and what's mere hollow praise. Humble people don't reject praise, but they know its place. They smile in gratitude, but remain clear-headed. They know praise and criticism are but breezes outside the window, while true worth lies in who they are becoming. This clarity is the mind's greatest victory. Victory over the ego, over temptation, over sweet words that could lead the heart astray. Humility isn't lowering yourself. It's standing firm amid accolades. That's the quiet strength, the nobility only a disciplined soul can achieve. In a world full of applause and dazzling lights, keep a clear heart, a sharp mind, for humility doesn't dim your light. It ensures that light isn't overshadowed by the ego's shadow. That is the silent victory, the noblest triumph of a person. Want people to think well of you? Then don't speak well of yourself. Blaise Pascal. Words of self-praise, no matter how sincere, rarely touch others' hearts. But when your true qualities shine through actions, through your attitude, through how you treat others, no words are needed. Others will feel it. That's the power of humility and sincerity. Self-praise is like a candle trying to blow wind to burn brighter, but the more it tries, the more likely the flame will die. Meanwhile, those who work quietly, live kindly, listen, and share, they are the lamps silently glowing in others' hearts, needing no introduction. When you don't speak well of yourself, you give others the chance to see your true worth, and when they do, their respect comes naturally, deeply, and enduringly, beyond any self-promotion. Arrogance may push people away, but humility draws them closer. Don't rush to speak well of yourself. Let time, actions, and character speak for you. For true goodness needs no boasting. It shines naturally, gently, but profoundly, simply, but enduringly. Praise born of love doesn't make us arrogant, it makes us humbler. James M. Barrie. Not all praise leads to pride. Some praise is spoken not to flatter, but out of genuine admiration words from a heart that sees the good in others. When we receive such praise, we don't feel taller, we feel the need to be more worthy of the love and trust others give us. Praise born of love is like warm sunlight on a humble flower. It doesn't make the flower proud. It helps it bloom brighter, spread its fragrance further. It doesn't feed the self, but awakens the us, the deeper part of us that is grateful, eager to learn, eager to live better, to repay kindness. When loved and praised, we understand it's not just recognition, but a gentle reminder. Keep holding on to kindness, live true to the value others see in us. That's the beauty of true humility, when the heart bows in gratitude instead of rising in pride. Sincere praise doesn't make us arrogant, it makes us grow. For only when truly loved do we understand that humility isn't self-diminishment, but gratitude for being seen, trusted, and loved. Life is a long lesson in humility. James M. Barrie. Life teaches us through failures, hurts, and fleeting glories. When young, we think we know everything. As we grow, we realize we've only grasped a small part. And when we've lived enough, we know the most valuable thing isn't knowing much, but knowing to listen, to learn, to bow before what we don't yet understand. That is humility. Humility is the ability to see ourselves honestly, knowing our strengths without pride, our weaknesses without shame. It's the wisdom of the soul, the awareness that keeps us from straying amid applause or criticism. Life, through every stage, gently reminds us, speak less of yourself. Listen more to the world. For the further we go, the more we see we're just a small note in the grand symphony of humanity. And that humility helps us live peacefully, love sincerely, and connect genuinely with others. Life keeps teaching us one lesson: be humble. For those who bow before life are the ones who can stand tall before time. And only in humility do we truly touch the depths of wisdom and peace. We come closest to greatness when we are great in humility. Rabindranath Tagore. People often think greatness means standing out, being admired, standing atop the highest peak. But true great souls are those who know how to bow. They know strength needs no display, wisdom needs no boasting, and kindness needs no acclaim. Humility is the clearest sign of true stature, for only the strong dare to be gentle, and only the wise dare to step back so the shared light can shine. When we are great in humility, we don't need to prove our worth, we live it. We don't say we're noble, we act it. And when we set the self aside, the world gains space for goodness to grow, for others to shine alongside us. Humility doesn't make us smaller. It makes our greatness more refined and lasting. For in the moment we bow, we don't lose value, we come closer to the nobility of the soul. Indeed, we are greatest not when celebrated, but when we respect ourselves and the world around us. Humility is always tied to generosity, and arrogance is linked to envy. Rivarol. Humble people understand that everyone has unique worth, and so they easily empathize, easily forgive. Humility helps us see we're not perfect, and that awareness makes us generous with others' flaws. They don't rush to judge, don't compare, for their hearts hold enough peace to embrace differences. Humility and generosity are like two streams from the same source. The deeper the water, the quieter the flow. In contrast, arrogance always walks hand in hand with envy. Arrogant people want to outshine others, to be praised, to be the center of attention. But when they see others excelling or loved more, the flames of envy flare within them. For arrogance isn't true. Confidence, it's a mask, hiding insecurity. And the more one clings to it, the further they stray from kindness, the more they're consumed by envy from within. Humility not only makes us gentler, it opens the door to compassion and forgiveness. Arrogance, though it wears the guise of strength, is truly weak, for it's fueled by envy and fear. Choose humility as a way of life, for when we bow to understand, we stand tall in the nobility of our soul. For when we bow to understand, we stand upright in the nobility of our soul.